Air Pollution and the Law by Alec Lemon. Today we're going to talk about the description of air pollution, some health and environmental effects, ethics, and the actual laws themselves, and how they develop some of those laws. Air pollution. Some air pollutions are poisonous, and like inhaling them can cause the chances you'll have increased health problems. But air pollution is a pollution is a mixture of solid particles and the gases in the air. Chemicals from factories, dust, pollen, spores, and car emissions can be suspended in the air. Ozone is a major part of air pollution in major metropolitan areas. Smog forms when the layer of ozone forms in the air pollution. Air pollution is classified into two categories, indoor and outdoor. Types of air pollution. You have indoor pollution, which are pollutants in which are outside the built environment. Examples would be superfine particles from the burning of fossil fuels, coal, used in traffic and energy production, noxious gases, and ground level ozone, which is a reactive form of oxygen and a primary source of fog. Indoor pollution, you have carbon oxides and other pollutants that can be carried indoor by air or dust. Examples, gases, household cleaning products, and chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons. Air effects of air pollution, health and environmental. Health effects, death and heart-reacted illnesses, changing the range of disease-carrying insects like mosquitoes and ticks that can transmit West Nile virus, Lyme disease, and malaria to humans. Health effects is related conditions like asthma and cardiovascular disease, which can also have increasing exposure due to pollen, which is due to a longer plant life growth season. You can have air pollution due to increased temperature and humidities, which can end up causing those asthma and cardiovascular diseases. Environmental effects of air pollution. Environmental effects. Ozone depletion, which ozone is a gas that occurs at both ground level and in Earth's atmosphere, which is the stratosphere where that ozone is located. Ground level ozone can cause harm to humans. The quote-unquote good zone is actually being destroyed by man-made chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons that are used in coolants and solvents and aerosol products like your canned air of air fresheners. Haze, smog, and other weather effects. Haze is caused when the sunlight encounters tiny little particles in the air. It can change the clarity, color of what we see from day-to-day life, whether we're outside, inside. Haze-causing pollutants are directly dispersed in the air by power plants, trucks, and automobiles with your everyday driving up and down the street. Ethics. Air pollution should be dealt with to an extent so that people can benefit from the production without actually hurting the environment furthermore than what we're already hurting. Business or corporations can be viewed as unethical if they produce air pollutants that clearly damage the environment and its people. Pollution. Production, benefits, transportation, business, and factories all play a factor in coming with air pollution. Unethical pollution is unethical because they purposely damage the earth and our health, and without repercussions from any of the governments that we have issued to help clean up the unethical air pollution. Air pollution laws. The Clean Air Act of 1970 and 1977, comprehensive federal law that regulates emissions from stationary and mobile sources. This law authorizes the EPA to establish national ambient air quality standards, or NAAQS, to protect public health and public welfare, to regulate emissions of hazardous air pollution. The amendments to the Clean Air Act of 1990, they ended up going back and reviewing Section 112, and they came up with a solution to first require assurance of technology-based standards for major sources and certain area sources. A major source is a stationary source of a group of stationary sources that can emit 10 tons per year or more of hazardous air pollutions. A major source requires a maximum degree of hazardous air pollutions in the air. Air pollution laws. Air Pollution Control Act of 1995 was the first federal air pollution law in the United States. The main purpose of this act was actually to provide research and technological assistance to control its air pollution and at its source. But it really didn't do anything to prevent air pollution. National Ambient Air Quality Standards. There were 6 pollutions that they deemed as the most hazardous to our human health, which would be carbon monoxide, lead, ozone, nitrogen dioxide, and particle pollutions such as sulfur dioxide. This law created a standard in which were actually directed to the EPA to list pollutants that would endanger our public health. And they also set a criteria for each pollution, each 6 of the pollutions. A CO level could not exceed 35 parts per million than once a year. The National Ambient Air Quality Standards has a primary and secondary standard for protecting from pollutants. The primary standards provide public health protection, including protection of the health of sensitive populations, which is such as like elderly and your little children, because they are more prone to breathing in air quality that is not as good or can be good, better, but which will ultimately cause them to become sick. Secondary is provide public welfare protection against decreased visibility and damages to animals, crops, and buildings. How they develop some of these laws, we start out with a little bit climate change, carbon pollution from power plants, reduced methane emissions, clean power plan, which is in August 3rd, 2015, Obama submitted this plan as an important step in reducing carbon pollution from power plants that can take real action into our quote-unquote new climate change that we've been experiencing.